Hey Don, glad you could join us. Hey YouTube seekers, this is Avani from Ecstatic Earth Arts. In a couple minutes here, I'm going to start chatting about some personal energy healing techniques, some exercises, and then some techniques that you can use for yourself to help make sure that you are maintaining your own energetic health so that you can maintain your mental health and your physical health and all those things all at once. So anybody who is here, if you haven't already, if you can do me a favor and give me a hashtag live in the comments, that would be great because it helps other folks find this video. And if anybody has any experiences that they have of their in their past with energy healing that they would like to share, or if you have any comments about things that you would like to have me chat about, I would love to hear about it because you guys are the reason why I'm here. So unless I know what you want to talk about, I can't tell you what you want to hear. So let me know because I am totally here for that. And I know that YouTube is kind of cutting in and out. So hopefully you guys, it's all going to work out in the end here. Actually, Dan, because I know you've had some energy healing experiences with me, maybe you could share something that you think other folks might find useful or helpful, as far as especially it has to do with things that you've done, on your own, perhaps as follow-ups to things that I've done with you. That'd be really cool because I would love to share it with other people so they can have some ideas for things that they could try. As you can kind of see, I don't know if everyone can see on Facebook, they can kind of see this painting that's behind me. On Instagram, there's a couple of paintings. This one over here, it says it's what painting I made for my husband, and then the painting at the bottom is one that my mother-in-law made for me, and this is my glass of water. Ooh, sometimes I forget how tough it is to be talking a lot. I've also had this, I was talking to Dan about it, earlier this week. I keep having this idea of wanting to do a workshop on chanting, and I was even thinking about doing a special live at some point that is actually just me doing a ritual completely in song. Totally a fun excuse for me to sing for you guys, but if you think that's something that you would enjoy, let me know because I would love to do that. All right, I'm going to give it like 10 more seconds, and then I'm going to jump right in here because it's like 4:06, and I don't want to push it by waiting too long. Let's see. I'm really excited because today I finished the Midsummer Ritual, the illustrated ritual for you guys. Super stoked. Also, if you are on my Facebook, you might have seen that I updated the banner to my Facebook page because I made a whole new logo for myself. Super exciting. At least I'm excited about it. When you own a business, little things like that can be super exciting. So does anybody have, I'm going to wait a couple more seconds to see if anybody has anything that they want to share, and then I'm going to jump right in. And obviously, as you folks know who are here already, I think most of you have been here before. If you have any questions about anything as I am going along, please feel free to chime in and say something in the comments, and I will absolutely address those things. This is supposed to be an interactive experience, so it only works if you guys are actually giving me feedback. So please, if you have any questions, let me know. All right. I think it's been long enough. I'm going to get started. If any of you guys have anything that you're in the middle of writing, don't worry. I will totally respond to it once it comes through. So let's get started. I want to talk to you guys about why I wanted to do this topic, first of all. I feel like, kind of along the same lines of when I did that feed a few weeks ago about psychic protection, that right now it's really can be really difficult to kind of keep all your shit in order, frankly, because there's just so much flying around. There's so much negativity. There's so much bad news, so many rough headlines. And it's really hard to kind of keep your energy and your mood and all those things in check. And I thought that this topic, much like the Wolfcrafts, I was just chatting about our topic today. We're talking about personal energy healing techniques. I'm going to go over some exercises. I'm going to go over some actual techniques that you can use on yourself to help keep yourself healthy and all those things. But that's really what it comes down to, is your health, your physical, your mental, your emotional, your spiritual health. And energy healing is a way to do all of those things. And of course, we're going to be doing in this live stream a little bit of kind of meditation, and energy exercises. They're really, really simple, nothing crazy. So don't let yourself get intimidated or anything. It's really easy. And if for some reason you can't, do it right now because it's too noisy where you are, you can't focus or whatever, you can always watch this on the replay in my on my Facebook page / Facebook group, in my Instagram stories for up to 24 hours after this, I believe. And then also I'm uploading it on YouTube. So you can always go back and rewatch. So I was saying, if you're watching and you're planning on doing this live, hey Michaela, I'm doing, as you can see, a video on, hey Avi, we're doing a video on personal energy healing techniques. I was just talking about why I wanted to do this. And also saying that I am going to be doing a couple of focusing exercises and a little bit of some techniques and things. So it might be a good idea to watch this somewhere quiet where you can focus a little bit. But if you can't, that's okay. It's going to be on Facebook after. It's going to be on Instagram for 12 to 14 hours in my stories. And then, of course, I'm also going to upload it to YouTube if you're not already following me on YouTube, so you can watch all of my past videos. It's Avani Joy on YouTube. So anyway, getting out of that, let's get into the actual fun stuff. First thing I want to talk about, other than the why of why I decided to do this week, is about energy bodies. So if you have ever looked at a picture of the aura or of your chakras or even the meridians, which I don't know a ton about, so don't ask me too much about those, those are very specific, Chinese medicine, which is not really my specialty or what I know about. But if you've looked at any diagrams or photos of any of those things before, in the pictures, they make it look like a projection of the body or something that sticks out from or is outside of the body. And I'm here to tell you guys that is sort of, it's a misleading thing. An illustration is only 2 dimensions. It can only show you so much. But your energy bodies, your aura, your chakras, all of those things are all actually a template or a framework for your physical body. And actually, I'm not sure if you guys have ever seen the really cool photographs of plants who've had a leaf or a branch or whatever cut off, that for a long time, the aura of that actually remains there. And some people theorize that with the whole phantom limb phenomenon, that's part of what that's from, is that the energy field is still there. So you still can kind of feel it. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. My point is that your energy field is actually a template or a framework for your physical body, and that the fine energetic level of things actually exists before the physical things do. Likewise, any illnesses or diseases or anything are always going to occur on the physical or on the energetic level first, and then it slowly becomes more and more dense, as the case, so to speak, until it becomes manifested on the physical level. So energy healing basically works to nip things in the bud so that you're catching it early on before any of those things can go wrong. So you're catching things early. So you prevent, it's a preventative. I don't know if any of you guys are already subscribed to my email list or if you read my blog this week. But I sort of likened it to doing your own energy healing, like brushing your teeth every day. It's a preventative because you're trying to keep your teeth clean and you want to keep them healthy and make sure you're not getting any cavities. So this is much the same way. By doing this as a preventative step, you're going to keep yourself from getting cavities. You're going to keep yourself healthy. Obviously, similarly to brushing your teeth, occasionally you still go and you're going to get something professionally done by an actual hygienist or going to see your regular dentist. That's sort of akin in this situation to going to see an actual energy healer who is certified or in a specific modality. And they don't even need to be certified. There are plenty of people that do this intuitively without any actual fancy pieces of paper they can hang on the wall. But someone who's a professional, more the point, so that's still a valuable thing to do. So these are sort of like the preventative things that you can do on your own in between going to see someone professional. So yeah, I got all those things. So now that we've gone over those sort of really basic things, hey Paul, I was just talking about energy healing and how it's a really important maintenance practice to help keep yourself healthy. And I'm just about to jump into some focusing and energy exercises so you guys can kind of get a feel for how you can do this on your own. And so I mentioned earlier, and I'll say again for folks who just joined, because I'm going to do a little bit of, excuse me, techniques like meditation and focus techniques, I highly recommend that you be somewhere sort of quiet where you can focus. But if not, that's okay. This is going to be online all over the place, plenty after this. So if you need to go back and rewatch, please feel free to do so. I would love to know that you went back and actually kind of dug into this and got to play with it a little bit. Thank you. So, first thing we're going to do, obviously, find yourself in a comfortable position, either sitting on the floor or in a chair. Preferably, you could lay down if you're really that serious about it. But I think sitting somewhere is perfectly fine. And whenever you're ready, you're just going to close your eyes and take a few breaths. Oh, thank you, Avi. I look forward to your feedback later when you can come back. So anyway, go ahead and close your eyes, and I want you to just focus on the feeling of your breath on the back of your throat when you inhale through your nose if you can, and out through your mouth, in through your nose, and out through your mouth. I want you to go ahead and let your eyelids kind of fall gently closed. Try not to squeeze or force, you just want to let them rest there. And then focus on your breathing. In and out. And when you're ready, I want you to just take your finger of whatever hand you write with, your forefinger, and kind of hold it up in front of you. Without looking at it, keep your eyes closed. I just want you to put all of your attention in your fingertip. All of it. Pay attention to what it feels like. Is it hot? Is it cold? See if you can focus on the sensation of your skin wrapped around it. If you can feel the sensation of your fingernail resting on top or the ridges of your fingertip. Let all of your energy and all of your intention focus in on that one spot. And breathe. And focus. All right. I am going to count backwards from 7. And when I reach 1, you're going to open your eyes and be right back where you started. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're back. Open your eyes whenever you're ready. Hey, Pretty Deadly Witch Mama, sorry I didn't respond sooner. We were just doing a little focusing exercise just to kind of learn how to use your intention to direct your energy, where we held our finger up and focused on the sensation of our finger and just putting all of our attention in that one place. You can always go back and rewatch the beginning of the video if you really want to. So does anybody have any cool, if they felt anything or if there's anything they want to share, I would love to hear about it. Maybe you was feeling temperature, or maybe you actually could feel something on your finger. Please tell me about that. I would love to hear it. When I work with energy, usually to me it feels like either warmth, or sometimes I can feel tingling, or even it'll just feel like a single prick if it's really concentrated. If anybody had any experience with that, please feel free to pop into the comments below. Love to hear about it. So let me think. So the whole point of that exercise is to teach you that energy flows where, hold on, I'm getting that wrong. Wherever, I have it written down here. I'm going to screw it up. So let me actually read it so I don't do that thing. Where intention goes, energy flows. I think that's the idea. Oh yeah, it's right here, all based on the concept. Where intention goes, energy flows. Sorry about that. So the idea is that by focusing on that one, very small point on your body, on your finger, wherever, by doing that, you're creating energy to actually literally flow to that spot. And that's a really, really important thing to remember, that in many ways, working with energy is actually that simple. Obviously, being able to develop the focus to do that is a skill, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. And the cool thing about this energy stuff is that even a tiny bit of focus is going to have a little bit of effect. And the more focus you have, the more effect it's going to have. So by all means, don't choose not to do it because you feel like it's not good enough, because even a little bit is better than nothing, right? Even brushing, even if you don't floss, is still worth it. Just like, to use my toothbrushing analogy from earlier. So I don't see any comments. Nobody was sharing with me about what sensations they had, sad face, but that's okay. I'm going to move on to the next technique, and I suspect that if people didn't feel anything before, they probably will now. Facebook is paused, so I'm going to give it a second to catch up. Hopefully I'm not having internet issues, because that does sometimes happen on this tablet. Nope, the internet seems to be fine. Oh, there we go. Facebook's back. All right. So for this next technique, again, you're going to want to sit or lay down somewhere where you're comfortable. I think sitting is a lot easier because you're kind of pulling things out away from your body when you're laying down. Obviously, you've got gravity working against you. So what you're going to do is you're going to sit again comfortably, and you're going to, just like, instead of using your finger, this time we're going to focus on our palms. So what you're going to do is you're going to sit, and what I would do is I would actually rest your elbows on your knees or on the table or on something in front of you, so you're not holding them out in front of you. It's super awkward. So rest your elbows. The pretty deadly witch mama on Instagram says she's totally enjoying how I'm talking with my hands. So glad you're enjoying it. I am not actually Italian, but I was raised around Italian people, and have all of my family is Italian, even though I'm not. So that's where that comes from. So anyway, instead of your fingers, we're going to focus on our palms. So what you're going to do is you're going to sit with your elbows resting on something, and you're going to have your palms facing each other. This is probably about 8 inches away from each other. And this is just ballpark. I mean, wherever you're comfortable, if you're closer, 12 is easier, or 6 is easier, do that. But the idea is that you don't want your hands physically touching. So you want to hold them so that they're approximately parallel with your palms cupped, facing each other. And just like before, you're going to close your eyes, and you're going to take some deep breaths in through the nose and out through your mouth, focusing on the sensation of the air passing over the back of your throat. Just relax. Let your eyelids fall gently closed again, as if you were trying to fall asleep. And let your shoulders fall away from your ears, and just relax. And when you're ready, I want you to again focus all of your attention in between or on your palms. Focus on that area, and focus on using your attention to move all of the energy to there. And again, you're not, just like when we were talking about in our spellcraft video, you don't want to use your energy. The idea is that you are becoming a conduit or a channel to the energy that's in your environment, energy from above you, from the sky, energy from below you, from the earth, and letting it all flow through you from top to bottom in both directions, like a circuit. And I want you to use your intention and your focus to allow all of that energy to flow down your arms and into your palms. Just talking about it, I can feel it, even though I'm not super deep. And just breathe. And as you inhale, imagine you're drawing that energy into yourself. And as you exhale, direct it down your arms, into your palms, and out. And the idea is that you want to create a ball of energy between your hands. You can imagine it to be whatever color you want it to be, or whatever color it appears to be if you're not, directing it in that way. It could be white, it could be gold, it could be purple, it could be whatever feels right to you. And just like before with your finger, the more you do it, the more likely you are to feel sensations on your palms. Again, it might be heat, or you might feel cold, or you might feel tingling, or prickling like pins and needles. If you feel something else, please feel free to post in the comments. I'd love to hear what other people experience. But once you start feeling that, and you can kind of feel, you have a pretty good idea that there's something there, I want you to take your hands and very, very, very gently try to kind of push them together. And you might actually be able to feel some resistance. That's pretty cool, right? Sort of like two magnets when they repel each other. And that's how you know that you're actually totally building up energy between your palms. Pretty cool. I can totally feel it. Hopefully you guys can too. It's a really fun exercise. And if you stick with it, I'm just going to let that go. If you stick with that energy, you can actually slowly grow it with your breath, like I was saying, going in and then out, making it bigger and bigger and bigger, which can be really, really fun. And I didn't want to respond earlier, Pretty Deadly Witch Mama, because I was in the middle of getting people kind of deep, but she said here that she has French Canadian in her blood, and that's they're hand talkers too. So that's part of apparently why she's appreciating my hand talking. I also think it makes watching this a little more interesting if there's things happening down here. So fun. So that energy that you were feeling, that is absolutely the type of stuff that you're going to want to work with when you're doing your energy healing work on yourself. And there are some sources that refer to that as universal, what is it? No, UEF, universal, you're pulling from the universal energy field or the UEF. So you're using UEF energy. Because if you're using your own energy, the concern is that you could deplete yourself. So whenever you're doing healing work, you always want to pull from the outside. Of course, granted, if you're just doing the healing work on yourself, it's kind of silly because you're really just like, taking off your socks so you put them on your head. You're not adding anything new. It's just a big circuit of all the same things. So the idea is that you're pulling something that you don't already have from the outside into yourself and directing it to where you feel like you need it the most. So going into the actual techniques of how you felt this, Pretty Deadly Witch says she felt sort of buzz. Very cool. Oh, you're very welcome. The more you practice it, the easier it gets, the more you can feel. So it's super, super cool. So getting into the actual techniques of using all of what I just showed you for healing. So first of all, the most important thing for healing, other than, even more than the stuff I already told you about focus, about, intention and energy and being able to move energy with that intention, is love. And I know that sounds really, fluffy, bunny, wiffly waffly, new age bullshit. I promise it's not. When I say love, I don't mean it's not like that. So here's the thing. When I say love, what I mean is what's called agape, which is a Greek word that means universal love. It's not like the love a mother has for a father necessarily, or a husband for a wife. It's like the love that you feel when you're working with deity, or when you are sitting, and if you don't believe in deity, it's that feeling that you get when you are, let's say that you're sitting outside with your eyes closed and you can feel the breeze whipping around you, and you suddenly feel held by something intangible, and it just feels warm and fuzzy. That's the type of love that I'm talking about. And that love is absolutely crucial to your healing work. That healing, that energy is really ultimately what you are channeling. So anytime you're doing healing work, you want to make sure that that is the main kind of feeling behind what you're doing. Love, because that love is what says, both to yourself, to yourself subconsciously, and of course to other people's subconscious when you're working on them. I want you to be well in every way that is possible. I want you to be restored to full health in every possible way. Universal love, Pretty Deadly Witch Mama says. Love that. Yes, me too. We all love it, because what a great feeling. So whether you're healing yourself or someone else, love is key. So first thing about when you are doing, on a practical note, so we just got to some really airy fairy fluffy stuff about universal love. Now on a much more practical note, when you are doing energy healing on yourself, there are two main hand positions that you usually want to use. And the way that I kind of think about it is think about a satellite dish. When you look at a satellite dish, it's curved, and the idea is it's curved and it has those big things that stick up. And the curve of the dish actually helps focus all of the energy up and out into that focused beam. So your hands are kind of the same way. So you always want to keep your hands cupped just a little bit because that's what's going to help focus the energy. Now, the place that the energy comes out is sort of right here, but you can kind of see how, even in the shadow, how that creates a nice, rounded shape. So that's going to help focus the energy that's coming out. If you're working on an even smaller area and you feel like you need to focus it even more than that, there's something called a tripod technique you can do where you put especially these three fingers together, called tripod. And the idea, again, is because the energy is coming from here, it's coming from here through here, and you're focusing it even smaller. So, if you're working on a jaw or a tooth or an eye or something where you feel like you have to get even more focused and even smaller, that's a thing you can use too. But keeping that sort of cupped, rounded shape is an important step to making sure that the energy is being focused the right way. Otherwise, if you're keeping your palms really flat like this, it tends to be very dispersed, and it doesn't work as well. So hands cupped, like when they teach you to play piano, fingers together. Again, the idea is, think about, hey, why not, we're just talking about hand positions for doing healing work. I highly recommend, if you missed the beginning, going back and rewatching it afterwards, because there are a few different exercises that we did where I was talking about and energy bodies, how all of this kind of works, that, and some exercises that are kind of helpful before you get to the actual doing of healing. So by all means, watch the rest, but go back and watch the beginning because it's totally going to be worth it. So, so basically what you do is just like we started before. You want to start with your ball of light. So you're gonna, and we'll do it again because I want you guys to kind of feel it. Maybe you'll even be able to feel it in your bodies. So I want you to go ahead and take your palms and face them together again. And anybody who missed this before, that means you're kind of going to get a second chance. So cool for you. Palms are maybe about 8 to 12 inches apart wherever you're comfortable. You're going to want to rest your elbows on whatever's in front of you. If it's your lap, that's great. And keep your palms facing each other, like I was just saying, slightly cupped. And I want you to close your eyes and relax. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. Close your eyes. And inhale, feeling the sensation of the cool air passing over the back of your throat. And exhaling through your mouth. In through your nose. And out through your mouth. And you want to pay attention to the top of your head and the part of you that's making contact with the floor and all the energy all around you. And the idea is that you're becoming a channel or a conduit to that energy and drawing it into yourself. As you inhale, you draw the energy in. And as you exhale, you channel or push the energy to flow down your arms and out through your palms, in between them. And you can visualize a ball of energy there. And this time I want you to specifically visualize that ball as pink energy. Soft pink, just like rose quartz. Nice, soft pink color. But bright pink light. And as you inhale, you draw the pink energy in from the universe. And as you exhale, you channel it down your arms and out of your palms. Create a ball of pink light between your hands. And if you're anything like me, you might already be feeling a little bit of that tingling or a little bit of resistance. Alright. Whenever you're ready, you want to take that pink ball, and I want you, keeping your hands cupped and maintaining your focus on keeping your ball of light. And you're going to face your palms as if you were scooping sand on a table in front of you off into your belly, and put those hands against your belly, right around your belly button. Feel the energy flowing into your body. Inhaling it, feeling the energy flowing through your whole body. Hopefully that felt nice for everybody else. Love to hear about how that felt for you guys. So that was what I'm just really calling the ball of light. And it's kind of neat. Now I had you guys use pink light. Pink is for self-love. Oh, in case you guys are still eyes closed, I'm going to count you guys back again. I'm going to count backwards from 7 to 1. And when I hit 1, you guys are going to come back again. So we're going to go 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yay. Alright, so anyway, I was saying the pink light that I had you guys visualize, pink is for self-love. And I think we all could use a little bit of that pretty much all the time, not even just like, right now. We all could use a little self-love. So depending on what you're doing, if you're doing this for yourself, you can use different colors for different intentions. As a general rule, just like, if you guys are already witches and you're already doing like candle magic, you know that white is pretty much good for anything. So white is sort of like a good coverall if you're like, oh, I'm not really sure what to do. Felt like Pretty Deadly Witch Mama says it feels like a gentle hug. Perfect. That's exactly what it should feel like. It just feels like, like, oh, thank goodness. And I think lots of people can use a hug right now. What better could you get, right? Where was I? Totally lost my train of thought. Oh, colors. So white is a good kind of general color to use if you're not sure what to use. You could also use blue. Blue can be really great if you're looking for something that's sort of soothing or relaxing, because if you're really worked up or something. Or even if you're something as like seemingly mundane as like, I have a fever, so I need to cool down. Blue would be a great choice for that. Alternatively, if you're looking to heat something up, you might want to use red or even pink again. Again, depending on how strong you want it to be. Obviously, pink is a little gentler and red is a little bit more aggressive. You could also use gold, like sunlight. We talk about gold sunlight a lot in my video about the psychic protection video. It was the same one. Sorry, I was totally on your laps there. So that's really cool. What was I saying? Point energy comes out. Yes. So, and then obviously I'll talk about this real quick. I mentioned it in passing earlier, but didn't go over any details. That, because I just mentioned color. To that same end, if you are familiar with the chakra system, you can do different colors based on the part of your physical body that you're trying to heal or that you specifically are trying to work with. If you guys are super into chakras and you'd like me to do a live on that, drop a comment. I would love to hear about it, and I'd be happy to do that for you guys at some point, because that's totally a thing that I would love to do. But just really, really quickly, there are 7 major energy centers up and down our spinal column. The one at the base, which is called the, oh my gosh, the first chakra, the root chakra. Oh, I can't believe I totally had a brain fart there. I know what I'm talking about. Oh, Sarah says here, she said that was so weird. I felt a really light pressure the first time at the top of my palms, but lost it with surprise, I think. But that time, she definitely felt it again. Awesome. And I know it can be really shocking when you first do something like that, because you're like, holy crap, this stuff is totally real. I felt it. Really cool, right? Because this stuff is totally real. So like the more you do it, the easier it gets, the less shocking it'll be. And so it'll be easier to keep your focus. So totally keep practicing it because it's super cool. So anyway, chakra. So the first chakra is at the base. It's sort of approximately where your perineum is. Where the business is. I don't want to get too technical here, but down that way. And it's associated with the color red. And usually it's also associated with waste elimination systems. Also, it can have to do with issues with like grounding and feeling safe. So if that's something that you want to kind of manifest in your healing work, you might choose to use red. The next one up is your sacral plexus, which is your belly, which is that's where I had you guys put the energy before. There are some systems that believe that the sacral plexus is sort of like the seat of the human energy body. Some people will tell you it's the heart. It comes down to your personal preference and what you feel is true. I use that because that felt right to me in the moment. But by all means, if you feel the heart is more accurate in the moment when you're doing things on your own, totally do that. Again, if you're doing general healing, obviously, if you try to do something specific, you can target a little bit more. So sacral chakra is associated with the color orange, and it's associated with passion and sexuality. And so reproductive issues and fertility, that type of stuff would be that. So you might want to use orange energy for that. I also associate pink with reproduction and that type of thing too, because I feel like so much of that has to be compassion with the self too, but that's just me. Next one up is the solar plexus, which is associated with the color yellow, and it has to do with your will and your self-confidence. Obviously, it has to do also with digestive issues, things that have to do, any organs that are in your body here. So maybe your kidneys, where you could probably argue would be yellow too, for example, or your liver for sure. So anything that's in that part of your body, that would be yellow energy. And next one up is your heart, which is the color green, sometimes pink. So obviously that has to do with your physical heart. Also, it could be if you're talking about issues with relationships or love, giving or receiving, as the case may be. Next one up is your throat. Throat chakra has to do with your ability to express yourself. Also obviously issues with swallowing and your esophagus and any physical part of your neck, anything that's physically in this part of your body. Next would be your third eye, which is right here, associated with the color indigo usually, which is a really, really, really deep blue if you're not familiar for some reason. Usually once you start getting higher up, I don't want to get too much into it. Once you start getting higher up, things become less physical. But if you're talking about physical things, your third eye might be neurological issues, sinuses, anything to do with your senses. So your sight, your hearing, your taste, your smell, so on and so forth would be, might be like an indigo or like a deep blue color. Next up is your crown chakra, which is usually associated with either purple or white. So that would be perhaps a neurological issue for like brain issues, stuff up here. For less concrete things that you used to do with your connection to the divine. So those are some kind of quick tips on how you can use color to help with your healing too. So that's all I have for you guys for specific information. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them. I would love to answer them. While you guys are typing, I have a few books I want to show you that I thought if you guys really want to learn more on your own, you might find them really useful. They're really great for beginners or for people who either don't have training or don't want to go pay someone for training. And the first one is this one. This book is called Hands of Light. It's by Barbara Brennan. When I was learning energy healing, this was actually basically used like a textbook, and you can see it's really dog-eared. I've used it and had it for a long time. But this really goes into a lot of detail. And this is another one that, again, I'm sure you've noticed if you've done any research that a lot of energy modalities require you to like go to classes and pay a bunch of money so that you can do their particular energy technique. And without their attunements, you can't do it because you're not energetically set up to be able to receive that energy. Well, this is the book that talks about the universal energy field, that talks about things that you can do without any other real like official training. These are techniques that anybody can use. Obviously, it's pretty dense. There's a lot of information in here, but if you are really, really set on learning some stuff, this is like the place to go. Another great book. I got this at like Barnes & Noble like forever ago, and I've never heard anybody else ever talk about it. But I think this is, again, a really great technique and a really great book if you're looking to learn something that doesn't require like a fancy attunement process. This is called Quantum Touch by a gentleman named Richard Gordon. And his technique is really kind of, at its very, very most basic form, very similar to that ball of light exercise. But instead of like what we were doing, we were taking the energy, kind of scooping it into ourselves. He actually has you keep your hands parallel to each other and actually put whatever you're healing in between them. So the idea is that the frequency of the energy between your palms is heightened, and by putting that energy around whatever you're trying to heal, the frequency of that is also going to raise and allow it to heal, which is kind of a cool concept. So that was Quantum Touch. And then, last one I have for you, this is Essential Reiki by Diane Stein. So Reiki, unlike those ones I just showed you before, really does require a specific attunement. I did get my Reiki Master attunement in like 2007, I think. And I've never officially taught it, so I'm not a Reiki Master teacher, just a Master. And that just has to do with how many attunements I have and to what level, and the classes I've gone through. And usually within Reiki, there's this sort of philosophy or this idea that you do not share this information with other people unless they pay for it. And Diane Stein kind of looked at all those people and said, F you guys, I'm going to write this book and I'm going to tell everybody all your secrets. So if you're interested in Reiki specifically, but you're not ready to pay for a class, this could be a really great option for you. This book obviously can't give you an attunement, but if you know somebody who is a Reiki master who's comfortable giving you one after you've read the book, that might be an option for you. But even without that, I think that this is still a valuable read because there is plenty of sort of background, foundational information here that could be really useful for anybody that's interested in energy healing. So, all right, that's all I have for you guys. Does anybody have any questions real quick? I know that I'm going to give Facebook a couple minutes because it's like, always on like up to like a 5-minute delay, pretty sure. But hopefully you guys on Instagram had fun. So I don't want to end. You got this? Oh, yes, that's from earlier. Yes, thank you. I know. I got it. It just took me half a second. I'm a little slow sometimes. Sometimes my brain freezes, especially when I know people are watching me. When I first started doing energy healing, it was really early on, and I knew, like I'm telling you guys, that you should never use your own energy. And I was really afraid to do it on my own. Obviously, in doing this video, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Pretty Deadly Witch Mama says that this was lovely. Thank you. You are very welcome. This video is going to remain live. Not live. It's going to remain, in my stories for like a good 12 to 24 hours. So if you have any friends online or otherwise that you think might enjoy it, feel free to direct them to my page and share it. I would love to know that this reached even more people and helped even more people. So, and please, by all means, if you want to head over to my profile and click the link in it, you can join my email list so you'll always get notification of all of my future live streams. Plus, you'll get 20% off coupon for everything on my website that you can use forever. So that's super fun because I would hate to lose touch. It'd be super cool to stay. So you can be with us next week. But I was going to say, I intend for this stuff to be used for personal use only. But if for some reason you're like, oh, well, I watched this video and I think I can do it. And, my so-and-so is sick and I want to help them in any way I can. Like, I totally get that. And my tip for you real quick is if you ever decide to do that, it's really, really important before you do that you learn how to shield. I talk about that a bit in my psychic protection video. Sarah says, I didn't feel too much when my hands got super hot and that's sweaty. That totally is feeling something. That absolutely counts. That is feeling, if you're saying they got super hot, that doesn't sound like, that sounds like you felt plenty. Energy is subtle. It's not going to be like a tidal wave. It's going to be subtle. So that's exactly what you're supposed to be feeling. And that's exactly it. Like I said, this isn't like, reaching out and touching something. It's a little bit, more, I know I just said it like a gazillion times, but more subtle than that. So that's actually exactly what you want it to feel. So learning to shield is really important if you want to try to use other people. I hope you stick around too for your Deadly Witch Mama. I really enjoyed your company too. Shielding is really important. Just real quick without getting too much detail, just kind of envisioning, a bubble of white light around yourself that's impenetrable is a good place to start. You always want there to be a shield between you and the person that you're working on. Or at the very least, when I do my work, usually I'm envisioning, our kind of energy fields fusing to a point. But anytime you're done with that energy healing session, you always want to make sure you intentionally cut it again and create two separate energy fields, because if you're keeping it connected, you can end up having that person create a draw on you indefinitely until you actually do not physically, but intentionally go back and make sure that you are separated. So that's a really important step. So, okay, well, it looks like everybody is good, and I don't have any other questions. So I guess I'm going to sign off. I hope it sounds like people really enjoyed this, and I really enjoyed sharing it with you. I already forget what I'm talking about next week. I think it might be about finding mentors and finding your tribe. In real life, I think a lot of us, have our sort of tribe online. Obviously, I have a community and tribe online. You can totally, you can follow me on Facebook, on Instagram. I have a Facebook. It's Ecstatic Earth Arts, and my group is Ecstatic Earth Seekers. So by all means, come and join us. We'd love to have you. It's a great place to come for support. Instagram is great for pretty pictures, but not really great for text-based communication so much, in my opinion. So feel free to join us over there. And like I said, if you caught us at the midway point, this will be available on Facebook for indefinitely, on Instagram for about the next 12 to 24 hours in my stories, and on YouTube forever. And again, Avani Joy on YouTube. So you guys take care, be well, be safe, and I will see you again next week. Ta-ta.